Good to talk some baseball, as it seems like the Phillies are kind of ready to turn the corner a little bit. We'll see if they feel the same way. As Mark Leiter Jr., a Jersey guy, I hear he's a big Eagles fan, Deshaun.
Well, that's great to hear because we're all Eagles fever, baby.
We'll bring him in.
Phillies too.
He joins us now on the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN. What's going on, Mark?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. How you doing?
You got it, man. Is that correct? Are you all Eagle green this week? Are you ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where did you watch the game last week? How were you situated?
Last week I was just at home, had a couple friends over watching the game. Unfortunately, being where I live is a little more free, so not a lot of Eagles fans as friends, but we had a good time. We enjoyed the game, and really happy they pulled it out at the end. That was just an unbelievable roller coaster of emotion at the end of that game.
So you got plans? You're going to sit in like the same seat? You're going to be like one of those guys? You got plans for the game, the NFC Championship game?
I'm not sure. I might go to the game this week. I'm not sure yet.
What about a dog mask?
What's that?
What about a dog mask?
You're going to wear the underdog mask?
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about going to the game because I got offered some tickets being up here in Philly right now, so I think I might have to try and go to the game.
Well, obviously, if you get the tickets, that would be awesome. The atmosphere should be great. Mark Leiter Jr. Is with us, and I guess it doesn't. If the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl, it probably pales in comparison to April of last year when you got called up for the first time to the big leagues.
Yeah, last year it was just an unbelievable year for me. I wasn't in big league spring training, so to get called up 2 weeks into the season was, I was definitely ready and definitely excited about it. But it was a little bit of a surprise. Always hoping to get called up, but the way baseball works, it's a little bit of a business, and there's some transactions that have to be made to get you on the roster. And it was just an unbelievable experience to make my debut in Dodger Stadium, where there's just so much history, and just continue to have a really fun year.
Yeah, and you had some really interesting outings. I mean, there were some games out there, man, that you were brilliant. And now going into spring training, I mean, I would assume your mindset is to try to get one of those spots in the rotation. I guess the fourth, fifth starter spots all seem kind of up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group, so it's going to be a lot of competition come the spring, and I know those guys are working. I'm working too, and it'll be healthy competition, and we'll see what happens. And definitely, being able to start and relieve will help me throughout the course of the season, and just kind of fill in the holes as we go, and hopefully, yes, win the starting spot.
Mark, what's the, you got a new manager, and Gabe seems to be a high-energy, positive guy. I don't know if you've got a chance to kind of cross paths with him yet, but do you feel like there's a different vibe around this Phillies organization as you guys are a month out of spring training?
Yes, absolutely. I was fortunate to get to meet Gabe in person last night. He had texted me a few times as he was reaching out to a lot of the guys. When he got the job, just to try and get to know us, build a little bit of a relationship with everyone, and to meet him in person was it was awesome. I mean, he just brings a totally different attitude and energy that I personally have never been around before, especially from a coach or manager. So I think a lot of guys are really excited about it, and it's just generally his energy just. It brightens up the room and makes you, kind of want to hear what he's going to say and what his thoughts are. He's got a lot of ideas, and just a really smart guy, and I'm looking forward to playing for him.
Mark Leiter Jr. is our guest, Phillies pitcher. Now, you mentioned the ability to start and relieve could help you out. Do you have a preference?
I mean, I've always been more of a starting pitcher, so I would say that I probably have a little more comfort level there. Last year was kind of my first taste of being a reliever for an extended period of time. But I really started to learn that role and become more and more comfortable with it. And the more I did it, the more I enjoyed it. So I really just, to be honest with you, the honest answer is I love pitching. And, whatever's going to get me the most opportunities to pitch and pitch innings that count is what I want to do.
Mark, how much, you've been around baseball your whole, life, basically. Your dad and your uncle both pitched in the big leagues. Mark with the Phillies there for a little bit. Al, of course, still around the game and so prominent. How much of your life, being around the game, how much have you kind of learned and taken from all of the stuff in your family?
I've been extremely lucky to grow up with having my dad as such a mentor for me. I mean, the truth is we're best friends, and just our relationship, we're so close. So a lot of times I'm learning just from hanging out with him, just the conversation. We both love baseball so much. It's just so much a part of us that, our conversations just kind of end up leaning on sports, leaning on baseball. And without realizing it, you're learning, you're gaining, valuable information. And, there's times where I reach out to him, lean on him if, I'm struggling mentally with something or just, something that happened at the field, and I'm able to go home and give my dad a call and say what happened, and he might relay a story that went through his career that he had and what happened and how it went. So kind of prepares me for the situation a little bit, so I'm not shocked when things happen because, professional sports are a crazy game, and you never really know what's going to happen. There's a lot of surprises. So just to kind of feel grounded and have that knowledge and resource to lean on, I'm extremely lucky to have. And
you mentioned that, your versatility. I mean, your dad, was virtually a starter his whole career, and then he comes to Philly, and, they made him a closer, late in his career, and he really adapted well to that role. That might have been one of his best career seasons that year, late in his career.
Yeah, and again, that's something that I had never really gone back and forth like that, like I did last year, and I leaned on him a lot just for how to prepare and how to try and put myself in the best position possible to be ready for any role. And I definitely felt like I got better as the year went on. And I know my dad always talks about how he enjoyed his time in Philly so much, and that was his team growing up. He's a Phillies and Mets fan, but they went to the Phillies games, so they enjoyed going to the Vets so much they just wanted to play with the Phillies, and those were some of his favorite years of his career. And I know he looks back at a lot of those memories fondly.
Hey, Mark, I would have to assume the night you faced Miami had to be your favorite game of last year. 7 innings, 1 run, 1 hit, no runs in that game. I mean, that had to be maybe your best performance as a professional.
Yeah, I had 3 games that kind of were really exciting for me. That game was a special night, especially just to do it in Philadelphia. I mean, I really enjoyed pitching at home. I did really well at home compared to my road numbers I really don't know why, but I mean, I just always felt so comfortable there, and just thinking back to the years that I went there as a fan growing up. So it was a special thing for me, and I mean, the crowd just was like really into the game that night, and I had carried a no-hitter a few innings into the game, and when I gave up the first hit, I got like a standing ovation, which was pretty neat for me as a rookie, first time I really experienced that, which, it was a pretty awesome feeling.
You got a lot of young guys on this team that, should make an impact this year. And you played with a lot of the guys, at Lehigh coming up, Reese and Nick. And do you anticipate that this team, might, the expectations just haven't been there the last couple of years, but we saw some young guys finally get some time last year. And do you think that this team, is one of these candidates to make that big jump?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you saw how much better we played as the season went on, just as a group. We had so many young guys just making their first attempts in the major leagues, and just to get their feet wet. And experience is a major thing in baseball. It just, the more comfortable you get is the more you're playing against the same guys. And in the minor leagues, you play against a lot of the same guys, and as you move up, those guys move up. But the better guys that you haven't faced are the big leaguers, and those are the guys that you got to get used to facing and learn their tendencies. And especially for the hitters because they haven't even ever seen these guys except for on tape. It's a little different as a pitcher. We know where we're going to try and attack. The hitters get at bats against these guys, and I thought you saw a lot of guys get comfortable towards the end of the year, and I think a lot of guys are excited about the way we finished up, and hopefully we can carry that into this season. And we really just had a tough month in May, and you take that away, we played a lot better than our record said. Aside from that, we had a lot of one-run games we lost, and I think if we can improve on that, we're gonna have a really good year. And I think we're all hoping to surprise people.
You got of the guys you play with, Alfaro, Crawford, Hoskins, Williams. Which of those guys do you think has the biggest impact this year?
Wow, kind of putting me on the spot there, but I don't know. I'll go with the easy choice and say Reese because he did it and did it really. I mean, some unbelievable things last year. So I think he has us excited, as I'm sure the fans are excited to see what he can do. And he was my roommate on the road in the minor leagues, and just getting to be around him as much as I was and talk baseball with him and just hear his approach and hear what he's thinking. I really believe he's going to be a really good player for a long time. So I'm excited to keep watching him mature and really just develop into hopefully one of the game's best players.
Yeah, historical second half for him with the 18 home runs in the amount of games, 50 games, 18 homers. Reese Hoskins, our guest, Mark Leiter Jr. Phillies spring training, getting ready to get down to Clearwater here in less than a month for pitchers and catchers. And Mark, we wish you luck with everything down there in Clearwater, and hopefully we'll be talking to you throughout the season, pal.
Thanks, Mark. Good luck.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you.